14 before the hour. Welcome back to News Talk here on News Channel 8. And our conversation this time with D.C. Police Chief Kathy Lanier. We can go back to the phones. We can take more of your calls if you have a question, comment, or suggestion for the chief. Several more minutes here with her before she leaves to go to her next events. And our number is at the bottom of the screen. For those of you who wish to join the conversation, 703-387-1020. That's our number here for those of you watching just prior to the noon hour. You and your team were back out recently, continuing the ongoing search for the body of Relisha Rudd. Is there any news there for the family and the community?
Well, our search turned up nothing. I mean, nothing new came of those searches. I say to people when they ask why are we still doing additional searches now, is it new information? Yes, we continue to get information in. We don't ignore any bit of information that we get, so we follow every lead. Sometimes we get information and we have to time, when's the timing right to go and do a search, especially when we're doing the type of search we're talking about there. Is the ground frozen? Has there been rain recently? Those things all impact the ability of canine dogs and dive teams and all those other stuff, and to give us the best chance of success. So we went to 2 different locations since December to do additional searches, one off of Bladensburg Road and then again at the Arboretum, and 2-day extensive search and nothing.
I want to ask you about body cameras. Ever since Ferguson, ever since the New York case with the gentleman selling the individual cigarettes, all the different cases that immediately became part of our national conversation about police-community relations, so much talk about body cameras, so much funding allocated toward them, so much optimism that they can help all of us as a community move forward. How are you tracking the use and the value and the policy around body cameras?
So I think people think that it's a panacea. It is not. It will be extremely helpful, and I think it's going to change policing in general. We actually have we'll be the only agency in the nation, the first to do a very rigorous scientific evaluation of what is the impact of body cameras. We have outside evaluators who are evaluating our deployment and the use of cameras and what impact they have, and that we actually have control and experimental groups where the cameras are deployed equally across the city to split groups of officers to see how things change. I can tell you anecdotally, I see initially a drop in complaints against officers' misconduct. I see a reduction in the number of police-involved accidents, traffic accidents. So I don't know that that's going to be the final outcome from this rigorous study, but those are the little things that you start to see already. And then I also see that they're a fantastic training tool for us. And I also see that they don't always answer the questions, even when they're on and there's 2 or 3 of them on the scene, because it all depends. Different angles of what you see can show you a whole different picture of what really is happening. So you have to have.
I'll bet that piece of it is fascinating.
It really is. There was there's a lot of different scenarios. If you look at an individual body camera of an incident, and then you have maybe a private citizen's camera view, you're looking at it from different angles, and it looks very differently. It's pretty fascinating. But I can tell you that the cameras are not always the answer, but very, very often they give you the missing pieces that you need to make some decisions.
If someone wants to provide a tip about some bad act in the community, and they walk up to an officer on a beat or in a vehicle, yes, is that camera on at that moment?
The camera is on, it's supposed to be turned on, activated for any interaction with a person in the public, but if they ask that we deactivate because they want to provide us with information, there is a little bit of play in there for the officer. And even if that is not deactivated, that is something that's not releasable. It would not be releasable to anyone. It is maintaining privacy. So I will say that since I get a chance very rarely on live TV, but you have a great viewing public, the public has been fantastic about providing us with tip information. All right? If you want to provide it to our phone lines, it's 202-727-9099. And again, with the ATVs, 50411 is our text tip line. That is anonymous. Thank you to the members of the public who have helped us close homicides, that have helped us bring people in that are responsible for armed robberies and assaulting folks. Really overwhelming response from DC's community, and I just want to thank everybody who does that.
We started at the top of the hour, and I regret not getting to it sooner, but The number of attacks on law enforcement, I believe, is up from a year ago, and in a noticeable, seemingly non-anecdotal way. And the accidental, the traffic stop, the purely accidental death where someone's struck, hit, no malice, but carelessness, obviously. All of it underscoring how dangerous what you do is, top, bottom, middle of the ranks every day.
Yeah, I think people forget that every single day when an officer goes to work, that there's a possibility that something bad could happen. They don't make it home. You know, we have officers that are, and there's been many, many cases on a traffic stop, trying to assist a stranded motorist in a training exercise. Look at the Virginia State Police, just doing a training exercise. So things like that happen, and we have a very dangerous job, and we come here every day knowing that, and we're willing to put our lives on the line for the people that we serve, and I hope that just doesn't get lost.
Since you and I last spoke, the FBI was able to get into the phone of the San Bernardino shooter. I guess they offered money to a hacker, and the hacker said sure, and they were up to the challenge, and the FBI got in to the phone, so now they no longer need help. They no longer need Apple's help on this case. Is this a potential? Is this potentially significant in terms of other phones that other agencies like yours perhaps have?
Well, I think that the changes in technology and what it means to law enforcement and counterterrorism is the challenge that we face with the Constitution and things that were created a couple hundred years ago, right? Technology has changed, and we have to change the way we police every single day to deal with technology. And there are going to be these challenges and debates and decisions that have to be made going forward. And it's getting more and more challenging, isn't it? Because technology just continues to grow. Your favorite topic, drones. You asked me 2 years ago, was Google going to drop packages at my home with a drone? And so here we are. This is the way that it's going.
Great hour, Chief. Thank you very much for your time. We will talk with you again right here, we hope, next month.
Thank you.
D.C. Police Chief Kathy Lanier joining us today here on News Talk. We'll step aside. We're back, though, in just a moment with a program note. Keep it here.